beautiful Bulldog Center here at LaPorte High School. We're so glad you're here to help us celebrate and honor our 2023 class of distinguished alumni and citizens. My name is Adam Holland, and I'll be serving as your Master of Ceremonies today. Before we go any further, these performing artists in the back who have serenaded us for this event, can we give them a hand? They sounded beautiful. I'd like to invite to the podium a couple of LaPorte High School students, Student Council President Brooklyn Waller to give our invocation, and Senior Class President Kira Arrington to lead us in the pledges. Our junior ROTC, under the advisement of Captain Hector Echeverria, will present the colors.
Will everybody please stand? Will you please join me in the pledge?
Y'all would please join me in a Dear God, I pray for blessings upon the port, wonderful residents. May they be full of joy, love, and strength. Guide them in their endeavors and keep them. I pray for blessings, prosperity for the beautiful city. May its residents, its community grow, spirit shine. Amen.
You may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to introduce you to LaPorte ISD's leader. He's been honored by the National School PR Association as one of 20 superintendents across the nation to watch. He also was named as the Region 6 Superintendent of the Year in 2019 and was a finalist for the TASB statewide honor. He serves on many statewide boards, local boards as well, and committees, as well as national committees. He was recently elected to the governing board of the AASA, that's the Superintendents Association. Again, that is a national organization. Most importantly, he's one of the few superintendents anywhere to know many of the district students on a first-name basis. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Dr. Walter Jackson, LaPorte ISD Superintendent of Schools.
Greetings, everyone. Today certainly is a great day to be a Bulldog. I'm Walter Jackson, and I'm honored to serve as the proud superintendent of schools for LaPorte Independent School District. It gives me great pleasure to welcome and greet you on this auspicious occasion. To all that are assembled here today, our colleagues, our friends, our family, and neighbors, what a joyous occasion and notable occasion that we share in this grand and majestic edifice, the Bulldog Center, to celebrate and honor the contributions and service of our distinguished honorees. Something noteworthy happens when members of the LaPorte community come together. Our hearts seem to beat a little faster, and our spirits are inspired by the warmth of seeing old and new friends. And today we pause to honor and celebrate our dear friends' lives and their tremendous contributions. Their noble and selfless deeds are motivated clearly by a love of duty and pride for the community of which they live. These honorees are dedicated ambassadors of the LaPorte Independent School District. We must continue to put on public display for our students who played in the orchestra today and those that were on stage this afternoon These random acts of kindness, which is commitment and service. We must teach our younger generation the importance of service above self. Today is a special day because this event marks the intersection of where community values connect with our service to others. Ancient Greek philosopher Plato, speaking of his home in Athens, Greece, once said, "This city is what it is because of our citizens and who they are." This city is what it is because of our citizens and who they are. And I think we can say the same for LaPorte. We celebrate this incredible journey of our human existence, and we celebrate our honorees who inspire us to become caring neighbors, productive citizens, proud Texans, and patriotic Americans. Today's honorees are all Paul Harris Rotarians. They believe in the tenets of truth, fairness, goodwill, and friendship. The civic passion for service and godly integrity of these honorees is inspiring and should be commended. Under the watchful gaze of eternity, the Almighty God has favored our civic endeavors and has blessed our undertakings, and for that we are truly grateful. While the vicissitudes of life continue to test our resolve, the LaPorte community remains steadfast because we are stronger and better together. Thank you for joining me to honor our distinguished alumni and citizens. These honorees serve as our drum majors of peace that serve others in the great community of LaPorte. These honorees have answered the question, will it build goodwill and better friendships? These honorees are our merchants of hope, the progenitors of philanthropic giving, and they are our apostles of brotherhood and the disciples of service. Thank you for caring, thank you for lighting the path, and thank you for leading the way. I'm equally honored to stand before you today and proud to introduce the distinguished members of our Board of Trustees, who I have the privilege to serve alongside. This amazing board is working collaboratively with our administrative team in the district to build and sustain a world-class educational system to provide a bright future for the students and for the future of LaPorte, Texas. Board President Danny Hanks, would you please stand? Let's recognize him. Board Vice President Russell Shoppy, let's give him a hand. Board Secretary Mr. Jeff Martin. Trustee and past President David Yonda. Trustee Ms. Melissa Crutcher. Our newest trustee, Mr. Mason Paris. And Trustee Deanne Thompson. Let's give them all a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, they work hard, and what's different about the Board of Trustees is they serve out of the generosity of their heart, and they serve for free. Thank you, Board, for all that you do, and thank you all for being here today. We hope that you will enjoy this luncheon. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jackson. Thank you also. I saw Councilman Martin. Is there any other elected official here today? We want to acknowledge you. Councilman, thank you for coming. Glad to see you. Thank you again to everyone for coming today as we honor our distinguished alumni and citizen. Please enjoy your lunch, and we'll start the awards here momentarily. Thank you.
moderate to severe ulcerative colitis takes you off course, put it in check with Rinvoq, a one.
Hopefully everyone is enjoying lunch. Please continue. Before we get to the highlight of this event, I'd like to recognize the distinguished Alumni and Citizens Committee. If you served on this year's committee, would you please stand so that we can acknowledge you? Well, I served on the committee, so there. And before we go any further, this event was put together in large part due to the leadership of Amy Lott. She's new to our communications department, and the rest of the team way back there in the back. Thank y'all, ladies. It's wonderful. Now we have some honors to present. Deputy Superintendent Dr. Rebecca Brown has the honor of being our awards presenter this year. Thank you. To be honored with the Distinguished Citizen Award, The recipient must have made a significant positive impact on LaPorte ISD, must be distinguished in his or her business, profession, life work, or other worthy endeavor, and must be an individual of such integrity, stature, and demonstrated ability that the award will reflect honor on the school district and create a sense of pride among the members of the community. A business leader in LaPorte for many years, she served as the Rotary Club of LaPorte liaison to LaPorte High School's Interact Club. Serving on the Board of Methodist Retirement Communities, she encouraged connections between senior citizens and students. She volunteered with Shattered Dreams. Our honoree leaves a legacy of contributing to LaPorte ISD and education throughout the world. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting our 2023 Distinguished Citizen, Miss Beth Brady.
Ooh, hi, what an honor. Well, since you already know that I'm not an alumni of LaPorte ISD, I get to share with you that I never liked school. I liked skipping school. I liked PE, because back in the day they let the girls play football. And then there was one day that I liked it because my biology teacher let me borrow her Python, take it down to see my typewriting teacher, and scare her across the room. That was a good day at school for me, but I was very determined. My problem was my sister, who's here today, loved school. She loved it. She succeeded in everything. She was never studying for a single subject, but reading 3 novels, and she just never quite understood our differences. But she was a shining star for me, and I worked extra hard. So I decided I've got to at least try to keep up with her, and I will go in to my teacher on the first day of school. I would ask for every extra project she had. I said, if I can get extra credit, I need it. And that's the way I'm going to keep my grade. I'll do the work, but I'm not a big tester. So about 15 years ago, I met a young teacher who was working in inner city Houston school. Inner city Houston can be very challenging. She shared her stories with me of students who surpassed difficult circumstances personally and struggled through most of the days of their school, but made it through graduation. She also shared with me the stories of students that had to drop out. If they became pregnant, their fathers wouldn't let them finish. The family might want that student to go to work and help protect the family, or he might just got discouraged and just quit. And when she told me those stories, she had tears in her eyes. Her empathy for those students really got my attention. Pretty happy to say that's my daughter-in-law now. And she now works for LPISD. The culture and character of this school district has never been better. Am I right? That is represented by the people in this room and another 1,000 outside of this room. And I know there's a lot of wonderful Rotarians and city council people and everything double tasked today with getting our Rotary event off tomorrow. But I know there's a lot of people in here that have come. You came to me and asked for donations. I came to you and asked for donations. We traded money, we traded elbow grease, and it has just been wonderful. I was a mama when I really started learning how valuable teachers were, and then when I came to LaPorte, I had the opportunity to learn how amazing the students were. Every student, no matter what their organization that I had the opportunity of working with or volunteering for, was kind, they cared about each other, and they cared about this community. And that says a lot for the people they're seeing every day at these buildings. So my message is really short. Giving is an opportunity. Receiving is a blessing. And I thank you for both. Thank you.
Thank you, Beth. To be honored with the Distinguished Alumni Award, the recipient must have graduated from George Washington Carver High School, was employed by LaPorte ISD or George Washington Carver High School, or was a trustee of the LaPorte ISD Board of Trustees, and of course, a graduate of LaPorte High School. Our first honoree in the Distinguished Alumni category gave LaPorte ISD more than 5 decades of service in various positions. From teacher to deputy superintendent, he served on the LaPorte City Council for 13 years, was a member of the LaPorte Bayshore Chamber of Commerce Board. He also served the community for more than 30 years, still is, as a member of the Rotary Club of LaPorte, devoted to making LaPorte ISD and the LaPorte community the very best. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the 2023 Distinguished Alumni Honoree, Mr. Mike Clausen.
Good afternoon. First, I want to thank the committee, Dr. Jackson, and the Board of Trustees for this honor. When Dr. Jackson called and informed me that I had been selected, I was shocked. It's a great honor and something that I will always remember. None of this would have been I would have been able to accomplish if it hadn't been for my wife, Kathy, and the rest of our family. Would y'all stand up, please? My sons, Shane and his wife, Kathy, my son, Jason, and his wife, Sharon, also have 2 granddaughters here today, Amber and Kaylee. Their husbands couldn't come. They're having to work today. And then there's my little great-granddaughter over there, Sadie Grace. It's just amazing. Grandkids are great. Great-grandkids might be even better. Shane, Jason, Sharon, Amber, and Kaylee are all graduates of LaPorte High School. Now we're waiting for Sadie. Since coming to LaPorte, I've worked for 9 superintendents, and their support and the support of those boards have had have made my career meaningful. I've watched the district grow and improve to become one of the top districts in the state. I've had the pleasure and honor of working alongside outstanding educators and outstanding support staff. I consider all of them my friends. Probably the hardest thing about retirement is to lose those contacts and that you don't talk to them every day. Let me go back and go through a few things about my career. In the spring of 1969, the athletic director of Southwest Texas State University asked me if I wanted to apply for a job in LaPorte. My response to him was, "Where is it? I've never heard of it." He said, "I really don't know much about the place, but it's one of the top paying school districts in the state." I did interview and was fortunate enough to be offered a job. Kathy and I were real happy and excited about coming to LaPorte, but my mother-in-law was not. I was taking her daughter and her new little grandson a long way from her. So I said, you know, there's a lot of movement in the coaching ranks, and I promise you I'll be back in Central Texas in about 5 years. Well, I broke that promise, and it was even harder when there were 2 little grandkids that she was missing. Most of you know the first 14 years of my career, I coached football and track. LaPorte has been blessed with some great student athletes that made coaching a fun and fulfilling experience. I have a very fond memory of some of the group of athletes that I did coach. Somehow or another gave me the nickname of Uncle Mike. I think it was Richard Davis that started that, but it stuck around for a few years. It was also a pleasure of mine to have coached 2 outstanding athletes, Mike Prokopuk and Susie Kramer. Both of them qualified for the state track meet in the shot put and discus. After coaching, I became an assistant principal, and most of those kids were great too. After serving as an AP for a few years, I took a job as director of transportation and learned there was a whole different side of public school work. It was definitely a learning experience for me. A year after that, at a June board meeting, the board announced they were going to fire ARA, which was the management company that managed our school nutrition and our maintenance and custodial staff. Then they told me I was in charge. Well, didn't sleep much that night. I did know where the kitchens were, but that was about it. So we did a lot of work in a short period of time. We had to hire a food service director. We had to bid out all the food for the next year, and which that was something that ARA had done for 20 years. We made it through that change, and our school nutrition has excelled. That department has excelled. Our maintenance and custodial staff have always worked really hard to make sure our buildings were clean, safe, and in good repair for the instructional staff and the students. Then it came time to address our facilities. With the support of the voters and passing bond issues, LPISD has nearly been completely rebuilt. We first built a new LaPorte Elementary. Then we had to build a new elementary on the west side of town, Heritage Elementary. Then after Ike, we had to build a new Bayshore. And we had to replace Lomax Elementary and a new Baker 6th grade campus. Then we renovated an old bank building over here for our high school DAEP. All the buildings have received major renovations, some of them more than once. This high school was nearly completely rebuilt, while still with the students still here. So that's construction crews rebuilding things, tearing things down, with around 2,000 students walking around. The students and the staff handled the situation very well. This building was part of that project. Along with these school projects, we constructed an instructional technology center, a new ag barn, a new support service building, renovated a building for our special services department, and made numerous athletic facility upgrades. This would have been we just had a good crew that did all this, and it was an exciting time. It was a very busy time, and of course, I don't think I could have survived it without the help of Corey Marler. With the recently passed bond issue, this will allow the district to build a much-needed new stadium and numerous other projects around the district. I have to say that I drive by the stadium site frequently to check it out, and I don't have to do that, and probably nobody cares that I do that, but it's just something that I'm used to doing. I really thank God for letting me spend my entire career at LaPorte ISD. It has truly been an honor and a privilege. I'll always be a Bulldog.
A member of LaPorte High School's 1983 graduating class, our next honoree is very active in his efforts to help LaPorte ISD and the LaPorte community. He's an active member of the LaPorte Education Foundation Board and Rotary Club of LaPorte. He founded the Helps Mentoring Program and brought Lemonade Day to the town. Ultimately, he's a tireless volunteer whose many efforts make LaPorte a wonderful place to live and go to school. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting 2023 Distinguished Alumni Honoree, Mr. Frank Nance.
Well, this is surreal. Would you guys like to sit down? Yeah, I've been up for a while. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, educators, family, fellow Bulldogs, and especially my grandson, Carmen. Thank you all for being here. As I stand here today being recognized as a distinguished alumni of our school district, I'm reminded of the pretty wild journey that brought me to this moment. And it is with deep gratitude that I reflect on some of the people who played a pivotal role in shaping the person I am today. Among those, some very special LaPorte High School teachers, because without them, this day would look a lot different for me. They were some of the first people that acknowledged seeing potential in me, encouraged me, and helped me believe in myself. This was foundational for me, as my journey through childhood didn't provide me many opportunities to allow me to experience those things. They invested in me not because they knew my story or knew my struggles, but because that's what great teachers do and what great people do. They pour into kids without needing a reason. My LPISD story started 5 decades ago at Baker Elementary. Yes, that long ago. And at the same time, that began a major part of my childhood that was defined by constant change and inconsistency. Through numerous school changes, typically the result of family changes, including 8 different schools spread out over 4 different school districts, I remember the desire for some form, any form of consistency. And because of that, I have great empathy for our students today that have that same deep need for consistency in their own lives. At 15, my mom and another new stepdad, I had several of them over the years, through all of those moves, adding to that inconsistency in my life, they bought a house. The first house I remember since 2nd grade. And I knew then things would start settling down for me. After attending ninth grade at Deer Park High School, the next summer, we were rezoned for LaPorte ISD before my sophomore year. It was a hard time to change schools, but then again, changing schools was all I knew. So here we go again. But it was then that two words emerged for me in my life story. But then. For the first time, but not the last, but then moments altered my path and impact me still today. I found myself at LaPorte High School where things started to align for me between finding new friends and reigniting old friendships that would become lifelong friendships. And then several exceptional teachers found their way into my path, and they all became my but then people. They opened doors I didn't know existed. They believed in me when I certainly didn't know what believing in myself looked like, and made me feel seen, feel heard, and feel cared for. I mattered to people when I didn't understand why. And with this in mind, I want to pause and just say thank you to all of those people who help kids come to believe that they matter. Those are our counselors, our teachers, our administrators, our mentors, our volunteers. Because those kids do matter even when they don't feel like they matter. In hindsight, I see very clearly the impact so many teachers had on my life. And today, that is at the heart of my passion to support teachers, students, and public education. It opened the door for me to be compelled to volunteer, to donate, and to advocate for our teachers and our schools. These teachers and many others, through their heart, their enthusiasm, and their energy for teaching, helped me find my own enthusiasm for learning and played an important role in me being the first college graduate in my family and my lifelong commitment to learning. After college, I discovered the transformative power of being a volunteer, working with kiddos on campuses, and by being on campuses, understanding more clearly the needs of our teachers and students, their challenges and the opportunities we have as members of the community to help improve a student's school experience, which can change the trajectory of their lives and create a richer environment for our teachers to succeed. My volunteering on campuses started with a simple invitation from my wife and my personal teacher of every year, Michelle. She asked me to volunteer as a watchdog, which was another but then moment for me, because I thought I knew what teaching was like. I mean, I've raised 3 kids. It can't be much harder than that. Wow, was I wrong. Then I spent a full day on an elementary school campus. That experience opened my eyes not only to the crazy, strange challenges our educators face every single day, but for the way the community can step in and help make a difference. And I feel that also led me to where I am today, advocating for teachers and students, but also creating opportunities for others to join me in supporting public education through our HELPS mentoring program, through our Student Life campus ministry, through our Early Act clubs, and through the LaPorte Education Foundation. If you are not already a volunteer in LPISD or another district, consider this your invitation to join us. And with this in mind, I want to take a moment to thank our HELPS mentors. There are so many in this room right now. Thank you for saying yes when the call went out to meet these kids where they are, being literally boots on the ground with these kids as they navigate the challenges of their lives, and also your effort in helping these kids feel seen, feel heard, and feel loved. Thank you for doing that. I believe it's equally important for me as a small business owner to support our teachers and students. It's critical that my business commitments reflect my personal commitments to public education. That's why my business also supports students and teachers through the Education Foundation. I believe we should all be investing in public educations in the ways that we are called to. And that looks different for different people in different situations and different seasons. But it can be through our time, our talents, our treasures, or simply our prayers. Public education is a partnership between those of us in the community, the families of the students, and our school district. We should never completely delegate education solely to our teachers and administrators. It's a partnership. And as for me, I'm proud to partner with LPISD. So from the depths of my heart, I extend a sincere thanks to LPISD. It's pretty severe too. To LPISD for investing in me, and now I'm very proud to invest in you. To partially repay what you have given me years ago and the opportunities I have today. I pray today that every person here be grateful for their own but-then moments, that they were gifted with. I pray we all see the blessings we receive when loving, caring people step into our lives and everything changes for us. And then I hope you take the opportunity to create a but-then moment for a parent, a kid, or a teacher through your time, your talent, or your treasure. We all right now have the answer to something a student or teacher needs today. And when that need is fulfilled, they will also know and believe that they matter in this town, because they do matter. My good friend Jeff Martin often says LaPorte is a small town with a big heart. I know this to be true, and I look forward to continuing to see that in this community. Like I've seen happen so often, we respond to the needs around us. Every cry for help, be they loud or soft, be they from the youngest students to seasoned citizens, that we each respond with, "Yes, Lord, send me." So we continue to answer so many prayers around us through our action, not just to see and not just to feel, but to do, to act in obedience to what the Lord put on your heart to do in this community. And finally, and I'm almost done, thank you to LPISD for this amazing honor. And thank you all for being here today. And let us get to work and continue to build an even brighter future for public education in LaPorte together. Thank you.
A 1963 LaPorte High School graduate, our final honoree this year, gives back at every opportunity. He served on the boards of LaPorte Bayshore Chamber of Commerce and neighborhood centers. He has been active in Rotary Club of LaPorte for more than 37 years as past president. He's also a founding member of the Citizens Advisory Council to Industry and the LaPorte Education Foundation. LaPorte is grateful for his commitment to serving others. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting 2023 Distinguished Alumni honoree, Mr. Bob Pizzatola.
Well, I want to tell you you're witnessing a very, very dangerous thing, and those that know me well say the last thing you ever want to do is hand a microphone to Bob Pizzatola. That's it. I understand that there's a bet going on somewhere here as to whether Frank or I will present the shortest presentation, and I'm going to win that because mine is very, very short. I'm not for sure what the criteria is to be standing on this stage. The question I have is, I guess, the definition of distinguished, and I'm not sure that I'm all that distinguished. I am distinguished in one category that I don't think is a criteria for winning this award, and that is my best achievement, and that's rearing two human beings, one of whom is here today, my daughter, Courtney Taylor. Stand up, Courtney. Stand up. That wasn't much of a stand-up. But in any event, she's an educator for her entire work career at Weatherford Independent School District, west of Fort Worth, and is a remarkable human being. The second one we actually had for spare parts, but and he's not here today. He's actually working, so I can be here, and he's my partner in our business and has our second office in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and that's my son, Dow. They really are my greatest achievements, and if there's anything distinguished about me, it's really the two of them, no question. The other thing I do want to mention, and I'm going to be very short and probably not as sentimental as the previous speakers have done, and y'all did a wonderful job, and I'm not doing that kind of job, but of all of the diplomas that I've gotten, and more than I ever dreamed that I would, the one that I can tell you for sure has been the most valuable to me was one that I received in this district, and it wasn't an advanced math class or a physics class or biology or anything else. It was Miss McElroy's typing class, which I know you took too. And it is something that I use every single day of my life. And I became very proficient at doing it. And I know we have a tendency maybe to discount those kinds of things that we learned. It has been the most valuable thing that I've ever learned in my life. Thank you so much for the award. I don't know, again, I'm going to end it the way I started, and I'm not sure what the criteria is, and y'all are probably scratching your head and thinking, maybe we really shouldn't have given this to that guy. But I do appreciate it. There's a warm spot in my heart here. My children are third-generation graduates of LaPorte School, and it means a lot to me. So thank you very much.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, can we give one more round of applause for our honorees this year? Thank you again to everyone who had anything to do with this event whatsoever, and a special thank you to our honorees and their families for all that you have done and continue to do for LaPorte and LaPorte Independent School Districts. The plaques that you see in the back will end up fairly quickly on the wall. You come in the top entrance, our Hall of Honor, or Wall of Honor is there, and they will be on display shortly. Again, congratulations to our honorees, and go Bulldogs. Thank you.